Okay, good evening, sir, and welcome to our show.
Good evening.
Yeah, we are always happy to have you here. And then we'll continue from where we ended last week. We're talking about the corona outbreak. How are you feeling in the middle of this outbreak?
I'm feeling very terrified because I never expected the virus to be that closer. Before we have some little cases in Bangkok, like 2 cases and all that. But now it have got to the provinces. So now I feel the virus is much closer than I expected.
So, how are the Thais dealing with this virus? Are they nervous or are they courageous that they can really fight it and defeat it?
Yeah, they are really frightened. Now you could see that when you meet them, when you try to shake them, they don't want to accept any handshake and they try to keep a distance when you're talking to them. This shows how frightened they are and how cautious they are about the virus.
And to the best of your knowledge, do you think that the Thai authorities have put in enough educative information about how to prevent this virus?
Yes, they have. When you check the statistics of the number of cases involved according to when it comes to Asia as a whole, I think they are the best. They have 43 cases, and the mortality rate is also low, which means they are putting up proper measures, especially at the airport. There are safety precautions that foreigners pass through, those entering pass through before they get. They are really examined very well. And with education on the social media platforms, on the TV, and everywhere, they talk about the virus and the preventive measures, and they are really taking it serious. This is why they have the most reduction rate of the virus in Thailand.
Yeah, and I think everyone will be very frightened. Like we mentioned before, I think the Thai people have the right to be very nervous about this virus because no one thought the virus would spread this far.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was watching the news and I heard about the one in Italy that they've quarantined almost 16 million people, and we also heard about a huge number of infected cases like in the USA, like in Germany, and also in France. So let me ask you, like from the very onset when it started like 2 months ago, did anyone thought that it would spread this far?
No one thought about it. Everyone just heard about it, like in China, and they never thought it would just come out. This is why it's where people were not aware of it. That's why it just came in and it came as a surprise to everyone and it just spread really fast.
So you believe that the low number of infected cases in Thailand is due to the preventive measures put in place by the Thai authorities?
Yes, it's the preventive measures because and education especially, if not, it's likely to spread because when they're receiving a case and you treat the case and people don't know the preventive measures, anyone harboring the virus can spread it easily when the people don't know anything about it. So the preventive measures let people never get close to people who has the virus. They always keep themselves away from such people to avoid transmitting the virus.
Well, that's nice. And we understand that you are a teacher, and we know schools are like the best places for viruses to spread. So I wish to ask, what has the authorities in your school done to make sure that this virus doesn't spread in your school?
So just recently, I saw the proprietor herself at a gathering. Then she was talking to the students about the virus. He really talked about the preventive measures, educated them. And now what he did was he bought a hand sanitizer, placed it in water, and made sure all the students washed their hands. And after that, he went around personally, to check if they are practicing what she said, which was very good. And he made sure all the teachers also swept the place, kept the place very clean. So you can testify that there is no case in the school. This is from the boss.
And from your own observation, you think that the students are really listening to what she's saying?
Yes, they are, because the boss took to herself, set the example herself. So you can see at the canteen, she has a hand sanitizer and ordering people to get it in water. So, leadership by example.
Exactly.
So she did that for the people to know how serious the thing is. Now, when you get to class, some of the students will be telling you, teacher, you have to be careful. There is coronavirus in Thailand, you have to be careful, put on face mask, wash your hands. It means it has stuck in the head of the students.
So let's take a scenario, okay? If there were to be one infected student in your school, let's say like the infants, the younger one from 5 to maybe 8 years old, how easy would it be for it to spread to all the infants in that classroom?
Yeah, it will be easy because, infants are very ignorant about a lot of things. They play together. And, an infant can cough, and an infant can sneeze. They do everything together. And, they are really close to each other. And this virus is easily contracted through this cough and sneezing.
Yeah.
So when an infant sneezes and some of the droplets of the sneeze gets to the other friends who he has been playing with, then the other person will transmit it easily. So with infants, it's very dangerous because they're very ignorant. And even if you tell them, don't do this, don't touch it, they will still do it because they're infants. They don't see the seriousness in it.
Exactly. Right. So might be wiser if we just let the infants stay home and not come to school.
Yeah, at a point when it gets to the peak, you have to suspend school, which is much better. Because infants, there is no preventive measures that you tell an infant that work. You can find out that even when you give them the face mask, when they want to play, they take it off.
Exactly.
And they do whatever they want because they don't know anything. An infant will just see someone and hack at the person, quit the person. They are ignorant about a whole lot of things. So it's better to let them stay home so their parents will take good care of them very well than to bring them up in school where they cannot properly be watched.
Exactly. And we all understand that Thailand is one of those countries that highly depend on tourism. With the outbreak of this coronavirus, how seriously has it affected the tourism sector?
It has affected them a lot because Thailand gets most of their funds from tourism. And with this virus outbreak, a lot of people are not allowed to enter the country. And people planning for vacations have suspended it because they think Asia has the coronavirus a lot. Well, why should they go there? And recently, even on the news, these taxis which work for the foreigners as Chairman, then they got a loan. They got a loan for the taxi, and the repayment has become a problem because the foreigners who just carry the taxis around,
Exactly,
the Thai people, and now there are no tourists around. No one is coming in, so they cannot pay for the loans and all that. So aside the tourism, this virus has caused a lot of unemployment.
So, because the chambers they can no longer carry on
their
daily activities.
Yeah, they cannot.
Wow, that's really serious. And so, said before we go, you as a teacher, what advice can you give to them, like word of cautions to them about this virus?
I will let them know the danger of this virus and how close it is to us. But we never expected the virus to even get to our province. Now it's here. So I'll tell them to put on their protective mask all the time and to wash their hands frequently from school, at home, everywhere. If better, they should get the hand sanitizer in their pocket. Where there is no water, you can just use your hand sanitizer. The third thing I'll tell them is their behavior towards eating. They have to stop eating meat for a while, or when they buy the meat, they can cook it thoroughly before they eat them. And of course, they should keep their surroundings clean.
So we hope they'll follow the instructions and try to keep themselves safe. Okay, sir, that will be all for today. Thank you for coming on our show. And like always, we are very happy to have you here.
You're most welcome.